Welcome back to Copenhagen Games. The LAN event is continuing into its Day 2 series, and it's all brought to you by our team here at Phoenix Red, producing it, Elite Gaming sponsoring the event, and we've got Kritzcast also providing their stream as well. I'm Turo Tabs. You may remember me from day one, but you also might remember some faces here on the panel as well from day one. We've got Dum Tum, the Feint Gaming coach, and we've got Epoli, all-round TF2 man and TF2 play-by-play caster. Welcome to the analyst desk, boys. So, had a good morning? Had a good sleep? All ready for today's games?
Yeah, should be all good to go, and it's going to be all the exciting playoff games now, so looking forward to it.
Yeah. How about you, Epoli? Hungover?
Not quite, not quite. You know, some people did stay fairly late last night, but I think the later start today for all the Sixers players, it's definitely helping them quite a bit, really. I mean, said we're not really starting till about 3:30 or so. So, yeah, I feel like people have had that morning. I did see a lot of players kind of, start trickling in pretty, just past kind of midday. So there's definitely been a lot of, people practicing, getting on their DM. Not a lot of teams I've seen have been scrimming too much, but there's been a lot of kind of checking POV demos, a lot of checking the stream back, and people are really keen to try and start off today well. Yeah,
we can appreciate that, break, because Highlander had to come in early, so we're going to bless up to those guys as they have to kind of tank the initial night and rough day. But it's nice having the collaboration, sharing. It's a bit of the perks, isn't it, of working together. So a big shout out to them. But anyway, 6v6 tournament. You guys know what the prize. It's 10,000 euros cash dollar, as well as all good hardware goodies and whatnot, again, provided by Elite Gaming. So these teams are entering like the kind of hotter regions now of the playoff. It's round 2. You're actually going to meet back with those invite teams that some of these invite players have slapped down some of those open teams that made it from that open group and met them in the first round 1. So now we're going to see a bit more familiar faces, a bit more like names you're used to over in our ETF2L coverages in like other streams and whatnot. But we've got a particular match we're going to be focusing on, boys, and it's going to be Ascent.EU versus SVIFT. Any first initial thoughts? Any impressions? Anything like, oh, I can't wait for this?
Well, first reaction is obviously it was a tie in the group stages, so it's going to be interesting to see who's actually going to go ahead in a best of 3. No ties anymore, and somebody has to be the winner of the 2.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. Like, historically, over the course of the season, going into ETF12 playoffs, and obviously, like you said, going into this game, they've been really, really even the majority of the time. Talking to some of the Ascent players last night, some of them thought that, when they did play earlier in the competition, they, Ascent did win on Sunshine, and they fairly narrowly by a 1-round difference lost on Badlands. And a few of their players were kind of talking a bit about Badlands, and they were almost of the idea that, Badlands was, it was kind of their game to throw, and that was kind of what they did. That was kind of their viewpoint. It wasn't a case of, they were super surprised by SVIFT necessarily. They were more in a position where we just played weird. I think the exact phrase was, we played like a pug team. So they weren't feeling like their team was in their full shape as of that point. And I'd like to think that kind of hit them a little bit yesterday, and kind of, obviously going into this tournament, they want the gold, but they're kind of, the general idea is they're the, kind of second seed, really, going into the competition. So I'm hoping yesterday they were hit by the kind of realization that that second place, minimum isn't guaranteed at all. If they want to make sure they get minimum second, and if they want to go for gold, they need to kind of up their game a little bit from yesterday and try and make something a bit more consistent work against SVIFT, because SVIFT, I don't know, they're looking really good.
Yeah, we've seen a lot from both of these teams, but what's more interesting, I like to think, is what we haven't seen is that these players are obviously, like you said, coming in early, looking at these demos, checking, getting a DM all sort of sharp and ready for the matches. Like, Dum Tum, like, you're a coach, you probably have preparations or even recommendations to your players, like what they should be doing before matches. Like, is this important in a LAN setting to get those demos in, to get those reviews going, or is it better just to get warmed up? Like, what's the ritual, would you say, for most Prem players?
You definitely should focus on, and like Epoli said, things did go wrong for Ascent yesterday. Focus on what exactly those things were. What was like the worst things you need to focus on? If it was in the comps, if it was general strats, whatever it might have been on Badlands that was bad for Ascent, they got to look at that and figure out a way to work against that for SVIFT as well in this matchup now, as well as for every other team, if it comes to the same map choices again, and see how they can improve on those aspects specifically. Warm-up is obviously always important, but like you said, people have already been here for a little bit. with Highlander taking obviously quarter one in the morning, people just could come in for the last few hours and just warm up, assuming they weren't Highlander players like Credo and the Disky for Ascent were. So they have some warm up already in them. Yeah,
they're going to be extra sharp going into this tournament, but they might also be a bit fatigued. Who knows? Who knows? But equally, I wanted to get in like we've heard of LAN rockets, we've heard of LAN pipes, but what about LAN strategy? Is it like a bit better at LAN? Is it better having all your boys around you behind the same monitor, you know, paying attention to your strategy talk, or is it just like any old online preparation?
I think it's very, very different in that at LAN, everyone has, you know, they've organized kind of going to LAN. You know, you've got like your Airbnb or your hotel room or something along those lines. You're all, or at least the majority of the team is in that same location for the majority of the time you're in Denmark. So, you know, they're going to be all kind of running through things at all times of day. It isn't just a case of, you know, we'll do a map talk, we'll do a kind of, you know, strat talk, and then kind of forget about it for like the next 12 hours. Every part of your day can include some preparation. And I think, again, you know, talking to some of the players, I think they've been getting really, really keen into this.
Well, let's hope that both of the teams have been doing their homework, as we've got two equally as keen being casters that I'm sure have been keeping their close eyes on the players as well. Let's head on over to Grumpy Koi and Beta.
Thank you very much, analyst desks. I'm Grumpy Koi, my co-caster Beta with me, and we are going to be covering SVIFT versus Ascent. And I think we'll get the maps confirmed shortly, but from the looks of our little mini-map, it's going to be an interesting first map.
Yeah, we got Badlands. And
we hope.
Well, it looks like Badlands, and there's a lot of players on it. So I think we should just assume that it's Badlands, and then we can take second map from there. I think the way the map system works is that like both teams ban one, then they pick one, and then they both ban one, and then there's like a decided map.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a best of three, and I assume they've gone through the entire process, but so far let's just go with it's Badlands that we're on. So this is a map that, you know, they've definitely played both of them before, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on Badlands here?
Well, we've seen these guys earlier in in the sort of group stages yesterday play against each other, and they took a map off each other last time. It wasn't really like one-sided. The first map went to Ascent, and then I think I called it and said SVIFT would take it 2-1 on Badlands, and that's exactly what they did. And I feel like it's going to be interesting because Ascent are not going to lose another map like this against SVIFT, but I feel like SVIFT have got a really strong team, and it's going to be interesting to see if Ascent are going to change the way they're going to play against SVIFT, because SVIFT played very, very, very smart. They did some really good decisions, especially with the way they played on last, and they made sure that they were, you know, cycling in people onto the point, not just all sacking on the point at once, because you can do that quite well on Badlands.
Yeah, it's the fast cap version of Badlands, so that means that it's a 1 second cap. So very often what you see is that people will just like, or teams, they will just Uber in onto the point and then just throw everything they've got on it. But all right, do you want to make a bold prediction here as we go live onto the first mid?
I'm going to say it's going to go to a golden cap. 100%. 100% going to a golden cap.
All right, okay, 100%. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and disagree and say that I think SVIFT's going to take this first one map, but take it away on this mid.
Okay, so on this first mid right now, we see a bit of demo spam being exchanged by both teams. They're looking to get the first pick, and the first pick is going to be Drak, but Pappy is going to be the return pick. And right now, 5v5. Little bit of aggression coming out of Adiski and the rest of Ascent. They're looking to pick up players, but they have lost Salenta, so they've lost their like soldier combo, which is so strong. So maybe SVIFT can make something out of this. They've only lost Pappy right now, and Pappy is coming back into the fight, but Scruff does go down, so they've lost the scout, and I feel like, yeah, they're going to back out. They don't really have the heals, so it's a good decision to back out and take another fight later on.
Indeed, it looks like Salenta's going to join the fight, but actually the Sword bombing it into the choke, doing so much damage. Actually doesn't die, but the counter-attack from Drak will get the force out. Really clutch there. Lucas going to see if he can jump in and get anything done, but no, man, he goes down so weak, even like almost has to be saved by an arrow there. So a really great job there by Drak. Drak has been so good this land, just jumping in at the perfect time.
Yeah, that like god tier timing that we kind of know and love him for is something that you have to respect. And right now, Ascent looking to take on all control of Spire really, and with picking that up, not apart from the traps, not a huge amount of denial until they walk in and they do pick up AMS, which is a nice little pick. That's going to slow down Ascent. They're setting up some sort of last hold right now, but They've got the NG, but they were holding quite nicely forward there, and they did get that pick. That's going to slow Ascent's aggression.
Yeah, the big key here for Ascent is to just be as fast as possible because they don't have like a massive Uber advantage.
No.
They have an Uber advantage, but they waste the time capping Spire, just walking through that entire area. And it looks like they're actually just not going to push the tempo right here. So they're just going to take it slow. They lost a player and just go, no, we're not going to push on this. And Scout, they're really crucial on this map for capping it because of the way the cap point is just so quick to cap. So it's really crucial to the strategy that most people use. Okay, they're just going to send a single Scout on. So you're just going to run
there's no stickies on the point.
Yeah. We're going to see this a lot, where teams just run in a single Scout and just like from the side. And like, yeah, sure, he's probably going to like eat a rocket from a soldier, but if he just makes it onto the point, like he can just almost cap it out if they don't pay attention. You saw that almost got like a 1/4 cap, and they were like really on top of it.
Yeah, there was like no time at all. He like barely even kissed the point, and it was at that 1/4%. But yeah, it was really surprising to see that actually Lucas did not decide to go with putting stickies on the point. He like did it reactively, not proactively, which is always interesting. But right now, Ediski running back. He's wanting to do. Is he going to
quickie bomb?
Oh, he's going to go for the quickie. Yeah, the quickie bomb strat. Now, this is something you don't tend to see many teams do on any other map, but this is such a powerful play on Badlands. Mainly because stickies have this, for those who don't know, have this cool little ability, right, where it actually detonates, well, gets rid of enemy stickies.
Yeah, it sort of hard counters the normal sticky launcher in a way, in that you can delete their stickies and they can't delete yours. Like normally you can't do it.
But it's got a half clip size as well.
Yeah, so it's not like it doesn't have the same constant damage. Looks like they're going to try to run AMS through on the flank. He will not be able to find it again. So they're really keen on just shutting that down. Like shutting down the left side is a very key little fixer to get down. They're going to do some soldier on.
Oh, actually, drag with the pain train!
He's so close to
capping. Oh my god, that was so close. And Adiski with a nice little use of his quickie bomb launcher. And those pipes completely denying that soldier that's going in on him. And right now, Ascent got so much time on the point. There's nothing like SVIFT have to be very careful with their push out right now.
Yeah,
they have to be so careful. They need to cap this off like so fast. There's no one behind right now, but they have to just make sure they're dealing with everyone. And Adiski is putting so much pressure onto that Spire beater that they managed to cap it off. But that was quite a risky play with that much time on your last point.
Yeah, absolutely. And now they're all just caught in this trash area right now. They're trying to just take a fight, and actually the Uber exchange is going to come in. And so far, it's just going to be a slightly better Uber, it looks like, for the side of Ascent. And they actually, I was so wrong. It actually ended sooner, and they lost a bunch of players. And now they're 2 down. And I think SVIFT, they're looking to just capitalize on this man advantage.
Yeah, they're looking to dry push. Nice bombing come in from Gink there. And right now, SVIFT using that space created just to move forward. And they're able to push out Ascent onto their second. They didn't really get any key picks, but their positioning was so good. Once they entered into mid, that if Ascent stayed, they would have lost players. Right now, things are kind of transferred to midpoint being in on the side of SVIFT, and Ascent defending their second, checking Horner, making sure that they're not going to be flanked in any way. And right now, it's kind of a classic Badlands stalemate. Yeah,
with a small little twist, and that is on Poppy. You can see actually he is wearing a banner, and it's almost it's like 3/4 charged. And what the banner does, Soldier has like a bunch of loadout options, and normally it's a shotgun or gunboats, and gunboats make it so you don't take as much damage from rocket jumping. But he has switches for this banner, which you can build up, and then when you charge it, I think it will give you, it's the damage reduction one, is the battalion's backup, yeah. So that can if you just exchange Uber and then go back in, you basically have like a second Uber coming in. So he needs to try and build that, and he's very close right now. Like one small spam rocket, and he's got it.
Yeah, well, the banner strat was kind of popularized by Josh.
Yes.
Like, he really sort of popularized that in previous seasons when he was playing on Ascent. So it's nice to see that Pappy's doing that. But Pappy is kind of a stalemate banner player. We see him use it quite a lot. Yeah. So in this situation, they've got the battalion's backup. It means that he's also got 330 health, which means he can be kind of a brute force tank for his team. He's got a lot of health to play with, and it can really help them out.
Yeah, he's like a very literal tank. I'm kind of wondering how they're going to use this, because you can pop it, and then you can just like send in like a double soldier sack, and it's super difficult to kill the soldiers in time. Or you can, you can take the Uber exchange
and then come back in.
Or you can go for some other play that we're just not smart enough to figure out. But
they're looking for some sort of play out of Haunter right now, and it's very interesting because Ascent are kind of denying it, but with a bit of a nice rotation. Actually, Pappy taking his team through Z and actually onto forward spawn. This means that as long as they can deal with that player up on drop down, which is Drak, and he's getting some really nice damage onto the Swift combo. And you cannot rush Drak like that.
Not in that enclosed area, and he had pretty good heals as well. I kind of like the idea there, because if you do win that 1v1 duel,
you open up so much space.
Yes, you got a scout behind lines, and he has pretty easy access to med kits and everything, and he can go on Spire. So yeah, it will definitely be a headache. But it didn't quite work out, but they lost a single scout for it. That's not really a disadvantage that they can really be pushed on. So it didn't work out, but I actually do like to play quite a bit. But you know, we are still left with this lingering question of how are they going to use this banner, because he does have it. And it's just a matter of like how are they going to use it? Are they just going to have it in the back pocket to use later, or are they actually going to try and make a very active use of it? I really do wonder what kind of strategy we're going to see, because right now they're very slow. Is Lucas going to jump in? No, he's just going to take the high ground. Oh, did they patch that out so you can't stand on it?
I think that may have been patched out. Like, let's see, Pappy's trying it again. No, you can stand on it.
Just missed.
They're just bad.
Yeah.
They're just bad. Can't believe I just called Prem players bad.
Well, keep digging your grave.
Yeah, that's the curse of a caster, isn't it? Because we get to see everything. We think we know what we're talking about, but we really don't. But actually, right now, so with this stalemate, it is interesting because you've got the banner in place, so that does open opportunities that we've said before. Swift hasn't really taken them. One thing I do like to see sometimes is they could maybe brute force themselves into house.
Oh, they're going to do a big play right now on resupply. They're going to jump in both soldiers. If there's someone holding resupply and they're holding near the door, if you can lock them off from the door, then they're not as safe as they think they are. But Drak, he's being really smart. He's holding inside here in the drop down.
He's not letting himself get classy though. 150 damage onto Drak. Drak's probably going to end up going down to that.
There we go.
So like we mentioned, now we have a player in behind. Lucas and the rest of his team are looking to create a lot of space, a lot of opportunity. Nice pipe coming out of him with all those players bunched by Horner. And there's the bomb by Gink. That's a good distraction again. Classy now on top of the Spire, starting the cap and creating so much space. They're all looking at him. They should be in a lot quicker than this, Peter.
Yeah, Scott is in deep. Like, look at this. He's in so far, but no one else is really willing to contest him. They're actually just going to pop the banner, or at least keep it in the pocket. It's not going to really pop until he lets go like he did just now. So now they pop the banner. They were about to get pushed on, but because he popped that banner, everyone from the center is just going to get out of there. So it's just kind of going to be like a big old handbrake. But
yeah, but Salenta is going in, actually pushing them away. The drop of Connor! Lucas with some amazing pipes and damage onto Choke is just not going to let. You can't not pop when you're walking through Choke on Badlands. That's just such a risky play, especially against a player like Lucas, who is such an aggro, hard-hitting demo.
Yeah, Lucas, I'm kind of hyped for this Lucas at this LAN. Like, he's always been really good. He's kind of one of those people that I feel like, oh, he could just be the best player in like a couple of seasons. But yeah, so far this LAN, he has been just absolutely pounding. He's so good at this game, and right now he's just going to be locking out this top area. They do have a small Uber advantage, so if they do go for like this really quick dot push, they can absolutely get it. And they, even if that fails, if they can get Poppy out, and he was like just as part of the Uber, he might just have a banner to go back in again.
Well, one of the players we're not talking about that much is Seeds, which is the Swift medic, and actually one of the things he's really, really good at is building his Uber.
Yes.
He's so good at managing his Uber. He's faster than most of the other players you can see. It's quite insane how quickly he can do it. And right now they've got a little bit of an advantage. It is going to equal up, but he got it at quite a pace.
Yeah, like he's definitely really good at building optimally, and I think Swift definitely knows it. I think they also knew they had a small advantage, and they did have it, but they decided not to use it. They went in and they tried to take down the center gun, and I have a feeling that if they managed to take down the center gun, or like maybe the engineer was trying to repair it and they get him, something like that. Oh, the double reflect!
Oh, no.
2 rockets in one go. So some really synced up spam actually working against them right there. See,
or did I just see a pain train on Pappy?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's just going to use pain train all the time on this map, because not only is the last point so quick, and if you just sneak anyone onto it, they can just cap it instantly, but also the Spire is really important to cap out, and usually you can't have everyone standing on it because it's a very small one. I'm actually going to go for some spam. I actually jump in Gink. I think this is all just to try and build Poppy's banner more than anything, but this is the classic old play of just trying to get and down. And oh my God, Silenta is actually pushing
that was a
out.
nice rocket. But that's really, really bad for Swift right now. They're going to have to back out, and they are going into their choke. They're going to have to backpedal as Ascent can really, really be aggressive if they want to. And right now we've got players going into house looking to maybe catch some players in a bad position. And we do see Drac looking to do so, but he's going to get denied by Gink. Silenta's joining him, walking through the house, and I think they're going to try and bomb in or create some sort of play, but Silenta's does get denied really, really nicely. And Uber was forced out of corner though with a lot of spam, and Silenta's going to get cleaned up by Lucas, but trades left and right, but players are starting to fall on the side of Ascent. Swift looking a lot stronger, coming through the resupply. They managed to clean up Adiski, and Lucas on a 6k. Kind of shows his ability as a demo that he can just deal so much damage so quickly. And that it looks like we just actually hit a pause.
Yeah, indeed. This time around, it's not the stream dying. So, yeah, that's just a normal old pause. And I don't think it was a tactical pause either. Like, usually those happen at the end of games. So, we'll let you know once we know what exactly happened. But, you know, I want to hear, like, you know, we were talking about Lucas a little bit. I think mostly, like, yeah, he's on a 6k. It's not because he's, like, had a massive kill speed or anything. No. He's just never died.
Yeah, he's just never died. His positioning's really, really good, and he's reading the situations really, really nicely.
Yeah, and it's been like scruff and classy. They've tried to send in and take 1v1s against Drac, and that worked half the time, so that's pretty good, right? And then you have the two soldiers that has also jumped in. Gink has died a whole bunch because he just like jumped in during the stalemate. So if Fantasy TF2 was a thing, you should not have Gink on your team because he is playing the sacrificial lamb so far in this game. And we might just have... do we know what actually went wrong? Or no? All right.
Oh.
No.
I thought we were going to go back into it.
Yeah, we got baited.
Okay, so it looks like maybe someone disconnected from the server. So
oh, yeah. That can happen. Even at LAN.
That can happen at LAN. Obviously, it's not your home setup, and sometimes things can go wrong that you don't expect. There's always like those little things that have been thrown in. But it's nice because you can react to it super quickly because your player's next to you telling you what's up.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, also just the whole LAN experience, like people can like bump into things. Like if someone's sitting next to you and they have like really low mouse sensitivity, they can like bump into your computer and just disconnect you. Well, I know that the computer I have at home, like if you just like touch it or like put your foot down too hard, like things will just go out of sync and stuff. Like my external hard drive will just like disconnect and reconnect.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I have to be really careful. I have to like go on tippy toes and not get angry when I play. So
yeah, no rage gaining, no slamming your desk.
Yeah, like god damn, it's like, oh shit, I just disconnect. My bad.
Yeah. Literally, that takes a new definition of rage quitting.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's like an actual. Like, you're not quitting because you raged. Your rage just forces you to quit. It's just like, you need to stop.
Yeah, putting my foot down is not a literal thing I can ever do.
Don't actually put your foot down because you will break everything.
Yeah, and I mean, they are playing on these tables where there's like a lot of vibrations going on. But we don't actually know what happened. But like so far
I think
in this
we're going to be
game,
going back in, though.
All right. Okay, yeah, we are back in it, and we've got a small advantage for Swift. I think they know they're building really hard, but on the other hand, they also went sniper, so it might just be a situation where they don't want to use it quite yet. Poppy's not on banner this time around. I've seen Gink go banner quite often as well, so you know they might just send him in for a suicide play and then just have him go banner. It doesn't really have to be the pocket because you can just like kind of switch the roles and make sure that the banner soldier gets the heals that they require. So you can be pretty flexible like that. But Lucas, notably, has not gone back to switch to the quickie bomb launcher. We saw so many teams actually try to do that.
Yeah, he's not decided to right now. We've got Credu and Ams picking up the sort of classic off-class combo you like to see on Badlands Last, which is the sentry gun of the engineer with a pyro just to reflect all of that spam damage and keep it alive for so much longer. It just completely locks down the right-hand side. So really, you got to watch for those little sack plays coming from your left. They just sneak under that little archway and straight onto point. That's where the main danger is. Because if you have that pyro engineer combo, they've got it on lock.
Yeah, they got like the top right area really solid, and also through the main area. You see the spam is getting all reflected. This sword is going to go down to a nice reflect, and then the follow-up from Silenta.
And that takes the banner out of the equation as well.
What was he on a banner?
I think he was.
I think he was not on a banner, but it
Oh.
might actually put it into the equation, him dying. So it might be a
Yeah.
blessing in disguise there.
One of the two.
Yeah, I think that the big thing right now that SVIFT have to really solve is that they need to get people either behind the point or onto the point somehow, right? Because they have a sniper, and once you force the enemy team to drop down, then the sniper becomes really powerful. He can't really see much if they're all just standing on the high ground, so you need to get them off the high ground. And I think usually the first step from that is to try and spam down the sentry gun, and then you can try and send people in. If you like send a soldier in through main, you can actually like make it all the way in onto the. Oh, that sticky trap escape! I think Lucas saw it.
Yeah.
Hopefully he called it. You know, he's just not
He's
sitting
not
there
just
like
baiting poor Seeds.
Yeah. Like.
Oh, they're making the play up to the point. And look, he wasn't even on there for what, half a second, obviously.
Yes.
And it's halfway done. Less than half a second. That was like a quarter of a second because of the times too.
Yeah, that's somewhat how the math works.
that's
It's not
not
an
good.
exact thing.
Siege just drops the drag.
Oh,
really,
no.
really nice play
Dude,
from
again,
him.
Drag just so crisp with that.
That timing.
Yeah, it's so fast. I really don't even notice it. It's just immediately gone. And like SVIFT, they definitely didn't see it coming. Classy, is he just going to try and stay in spawn?
I think the play was just to get him off sniper and back onto scout, but he's not able to do so. So he's going to try and lock down this area, try and get a decent shot onto something. He tries to go for the soldier shot, but the soldier bombs in really nicely. Adiski comes in as well, picks up Lucas. A lot of spam onto the SVIFT players. They're getting backpedaled so hard, and Ascent take mid very, very confidently, and they've still got full Uberad. They're coming on this left-hand side by resub. They're going to send AMS. No, I thought AMS might want to go up drop down, but no, they're checking for sticks, checking for traps, and they wanted to take this the whole way. I think they're going to come out this right-hand side right now, Beta, and just go straight for point. Never mind, Caster's Curse.
Well, they are definitely trying to be quick about it. Look at this sentry in Pyro. They're so far back, and they are absolutely just going to go into top right here. There's only 85% right now on the enemy medic. They're going to try and put a scout onto the point immediately. Put so much time onto it.
That was so well played by AMS.
Yeah, he plays the point to perfection and just gets bounced off a little bit by these stickies. But yeah, just one scout onto the point. I kind of feel like they were almost a little bit too slow to put a scout on it, but no, that was plenty of time.
That was really, really well done.
Yeah,
like,
and
genuinely really, really well done.
I kind of feel like SVIFT were in the driver's seat for most of that, but it ends up just being Ascent that takes it all the way into last there. And they actually roll through 2 points really quickly, so great job by them. And that's going to be 1-0 in this first map.
And coming into the second mid Beta, Adiski taking a huge amount of damage. We're going to wait for these bomb plays coming out on the players as the scouts exchange a little bit of fire, but Salentes nearly lands a really, really nice rocket, but Drak is the first casualty of this second mid. And Happy looking to bomb in.
Oh! Not the double air shot, but the single air shot.
Really crisp. But that was such good reactions because he jumped so fast from shithouse.
Yeah, he was just flying through the air, like just actually like he was riding the rocket right now. He was just, that was a normal rocket jump. But he did create a lot of space for his team, and they just like definitely had the positioning. They didn't like have like true manpower advantage. It wasn't like that big, but they definitely forced everyone out of the choke. And once you get into that little choke, you will just get spammed out so heavily if you try to go back in. So it was a good time to go for that play. And, you know, we could see a banner on him. He's not going to do that. It makes sense. But we are in another stalemate situation right now. And, you know, SVIFT, they need to make a play.
But again, SVIFT winning another mid-fight, actually being very strong on the mid-fight situation. But Classy just kind of walks into Drak. Drak takes up that kill quite nicely, but he nearly died due to his own splash. Luckily, he picks up a pack. And right now, little bits of exchange here and there of damage, but really they're going to have to try and break this somehow. They are 1 point behind, and it is like the first round was what, 18 minutes? No, not 18, more like 16.
Yeah, it was
16,
very long.
17. It was a long first round. So really they need to start getting the ball rolling, not let Ascent dig their heels in any way, shape or form. And with the spam being exchanged left and right, really Happy looking to go on top of there, spam from below, just get that damage down. He's just denying.
Yeah, I think there's actually information that they were looking for. Very interesting. They jump in Gink. He's going to get a good angle on some medic. Has to pop. Yeah.
Now Siege trying to deal with that really nice surf from Siege. That movement was crisp.
Absolutely, just perfectly surfs the way up onto the balcony there from him. Really great job. So he's going to do the counter.
They're looking to clean up players right now, Beta, as They may be able to connect with some people in choke, but they're not going to do it. Lucas trying to deny, but Ascent really strong. And Salentes comes in, dies off his own damage, but Lucas is going to get cleaned up by Adiski with some awesome pipes. And he does taunt, but he gets punished for the taunt. And Ams, 11 HP, almost ultimate life form. And Papi actually dealing with 2 scouts right now that are on really low health, and he's going to get bombed once again, dealing some nice damage.
Oh, got one.
Take down Ams, but in the end.
Yeah, he got the 1 kill there. Like, that must be the most annoying situation in the entire world for a soldier. 2 scouts on like sub 10 HP in different directions.
And then you get jumped.
Yeah, and they're far away, and you only have these rockets. And yeah, and then the soldier comes in just to ruin the day even more. They'd actually almost made like a scout overextend. Like he was about to get chipped down for so long. But yeah, Ascent, they managed to take control of this middle. They'll be in a, like, it's a very even Uber position. It was a very close fight. And now Ascent all of a sudden in the driver's seat in this round. And they can take it slow. And I'm kind of curious, like right now, it seems like the play is to try and figure out where the medic is, and then you bomb in either 2 soldiers or a soldier and a scout. And you do have a lot of options. Like you can send, you can do like resupply plays. We saw SVIFT do it before, where they like just charge up like a soldier and they just all come flying in at the same time.
But look at this, they're actually making a lot of space with Draken.
Oh,
really nice rocket onto Seeds, but Seeds is going to end up popping, but that means that Connor just needs to backpedal, make sure he doesn't drop or get forced. And Ascent now got a full Uber advantage. That was a really nice read from Drac once again. So Papi actually went down due to some exchange of spam, and they just do what Ascent do best, which is move forward, inch forward, take that little bit of space, and then send in a sack. They managed to get it directly onto Seeds.
Yeah, it really helps to have like perfectly aimed land rockets. Like that was, like Seeds had no option there, right? Like it was pop or die, and like he chose the right thing to it, but it's a sucky situation. And it's actually kind of surprising how like single soldier sacks have just worked so far. Like normally it takes more to get a pop out of a medic, but these rockets have just been so good and the timing has been so good. But you're actually going to get an Uber through main, and
oh, there's no one here. Oh no! SVIFT managed to get that Uber right in time though. They deny Ams, they take down Connor as well. That was so lucky. That was so quick from Ascent. They nearly got away with it. They were just inches away from being too quick for SVIFT to react to.
Yeah, but SVIFT reacting really well there. Like you got to give credit to them as well.
Credit where credit's due, yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
And they're actually going to try and make it out now and pushing up onto the Spire. See, Kratos is not doing so well right now. So, like, he's going to need some heals before he's in the fight. He is getting them now, but the time on Spire is here. Going to see Drac jumping this demo man. They're going to knock him down. He does go down himself, though, so this could be very difficult, but it's so hotly contested, the Spire. And this is the difficult thing about pushing up on Badlands. The point is not available, and it's going to be a back cap. At some point, a scout will just sneak in behind. We didn't quite see where he came from, but it was probably drop down. But there's so many angles that they can come from, and it's just like you need to check everything. And then once you push out far enough, there's only like 3 different places they can come from, so it's kind of manageable. But it is very difficult, and there's just constant pressure on the Spire, and never allowing that to get capped out. And that's going to be 2-0 in favor of Ascent.
Yeah, Ascent taking full control. It's 2-0 right now, so my prediction is kind of out of the water. Thinking it was going to be a Golden Cups. But 7 minutes is enough time, and Gink with a really nice bomb and a good amount of damage onto Drac, but Drac with some really nice return rockets. We do see that Salentes has gone down, but Cotter goes down as well to some really nice pipes from Lucas once again, but Drac with a really nice read, nearly gets onto Seeds, but Seeds with 10 HP.
There's a scout, wow, got red. No, got perfectly red. Kratos still high. Oh, he goes for the med kit, but Kratos somehow.
Rough, saving his team, but Adiski goes in!
He gets
it.
They sacked 3 players to get him, but they finally got him.
And that worked out in the end, because now even though they've only taken down Seeds, they've got that Uber advantage, and they can start digging their heels in. They need to play this smart, but they know that if they just chip away, do a bit of spam, do jumps like this, and just try and deny the SVIFT players from pushing forward, there's going to be a point where Siege isn't with them, and they're going to start losing people. But actually, Drac does go down, but Papi on 13 HP does get cleaned up. And right now, SVIFT getting second, but...
Yeah, they got second, and that's the kind of the thing sometimes. When you yourself have a medic like Ascent did, you just, and the enemy team has like a bunch of combat guys but no heals, very dangerous because they just hit so much harder than you do. So you have to like play it very slowly and make sure you don't risk anything here. And it's going to end up just being a Spire cap. Ascent, they really wanted that to not be the case because if they can just hold it off for a little bit longer, they will get those respawners out. But as it is right now, they're going to be in this really awkward situation where they have a massive Uber advantage, but it's very difficult to push out of Badlands last on Uber disadvantage, and they're ahead 2-0 with 5 minutes remaining. So, like, I think they're just going to be pretty content to just not push out at all. And that's a bit unfortunate. It's not the situation they wanted to be in, but it's what they're going to have to work with here. But SVIFT at the same time, they need to go in pretty quickly because they don't have a lot of time. They have about 5 minutes to get 2 rounds, which is completely doable, but you can't just sit around for too long. Like, you got to be careful.
I think they were looking to equalize their Uber opportunities. Right now, they can still, if they play this correctly, they can do a lot of work. They're looking to come in on the right-hand side, try to bully out Drak as much as possible, but Drak is having absolutely none of it. And ends up going down, though, to Scruff, who just reads the pressure just right, but they do trade Pappy as a result. Gink taking down the dispenser. Now's the perfect time to push, and Lucas is going to read that, take down the sentry gun. Oh, no,
he doesn't get it.
Saved. It looked like it was going to go down. I could see that sticky landing on it, but it was just saved.
Yeah, I think those got an engineer swing in just the millisecond before he did it, so it just went back down to the same HP. And that's really unfortunate. There's just all time wasted right now for SVIFT. They don't have the time to do this. So, like, normally we'd say, oh, they should get a ban and build that up. But no, we just don't have time to do that right now. So they need to do a bunch of really quick pushes. Because, like, it's not that they need to win this round really quickly, it's that they need to win the next round. Yeah, oh my god, you're right. He's so actually waiting.
He's so far forward, so he's actually completely behind SVIFT right now. As soon as Pappy, Lucas and Pappy kind of join the team, he's so far behind. I don't think anyone knows about it. He's going to get the info. This is like... He is so patient. He knows when to walk in. He has been spotted, but he gets the first rocket onto Siege. But Siege handles that so well.
Yeah, just dives right behind his teammates. And now there's actually going to be a 3-pick in favor of SVIFT, so that didn't work out at all. It's going to be a final Uber for save. The Syndicon did get taken down, and the scout on the point. So much pressure on the point right now. That's actually a good, really good play. Long. Yes, and now if they could just re-push in, make a very chaotic fight, they can get this done. They got so much...
Really good rotation, and they're going to clean up all the people on point.
Yeah, they got it.
That was so well played by SVIFT.
Yeah, really well done. Just getting Ubers out of the way, get the Syndicon down, then come back out. And yeah, sure, the Pyro chased down the Demo Man and everything. Like, Demo Man is important, but they want the high ground at the same time.
So even though the Pyro thought that was a really good idea, and I get where credit was coming from, he just completely took himself out of the fight. And that right click is so powerful on last. So just being able to knock people off point is so important, and they're just not able to do so.
Yeah, indeed. And now we have this mid fight here. Lots of pressure coming in. Both Sorters trying to jump to the opposing Demo Man. Not really finding them, though. So we have Sorters behind line. Going to actually just get him cheeky melee kill in there. But Ascent, currently, they are just holding this high ground, and they're going to be sitting on that just fine. Seeds did survive, so it looks like they're going to hold choke. There's a Sorter way behind line as well. And SVIFT right now, they kind of need to do something. It is 2.5 minutes, so don't panic quite yet. But actually, Drak might just present himself as a pick. I feel like he should just stop playing super passive right now. He's being too aggressive right now. And Ascent, they just need to slow things down.
Well, Solentes and Pappy were having a little battle near the resub, but sadly, Solentes having the ability to go to the resub does mean that he will have more health, and he does clean up Pappy. But Ascent, really good mid-fight, really good at taking control and just pushing things out. And now they're looking to send in a nice deep bomb from Drak onto Seeds. But once again, Seeds' movement has been very, very strong this game.
Yes, and I'm kind of surprised that Drak is still going for these plays. I really feel like that could be something that really bites him in the ass. It did last time around because it was just a free pick. Now the Uber's going to come in here. They just want to take this exchange.
Oh no, sadly Scruff gets dropped there and the Uber exchange has happened, and Lucas is trapped in as well. He's probably 12 HP, manages to survive, nearly lands that pipe, but he's going to go down to AMS with a little bit of pistol spray. And with 1 minute 30 left, unless SVIFT pulls something amazing out of the bag, they're going to lose this round, so that it's all to play for on this Spire fight. And Adiski gets pushed off with some really nice sticks from him. Pappy trying to clean him up, but he ends up going down to Solentes. Scruff now pressuring Solentes, but really good rockets, and the support of his scouts mean that poor old Seeds is all on his own. And with Lucas, I think, respawning,
Yeah,
no, he's behind.
Oh, yeah.
He's behind them.
Yeah, he might
They
go
just
for the
walked
Spire.
past him.
The Spire has not been counted. I think he might jump it. He's looking for this medkit, and then he wants to get it. Come on,
Yeah.
spawn.
Go,
There we
go. He's going to try and make it. He does push off the point, which is really nice, but he does lose the 1v1 against Credu. And that's going to be the round with 48 seconds left, 3-1. I'm going to call it here. I'm going to say first map, going to Ascent.
Yeah, absolutely. No team has time to capture any more rounds. So absolutely, really well played there by Ascent. I felt like they might have been a bit too aggressive, but they just kept playing like good TF2 the entire time. And you know, SVIFT, they were sending players behind. They were being pretty aggressive, and eventually Ascent just found a way to punish them for that, and just to take that entire game. And they were struggling a little bit in the beginning, but then after that, it seemed like they really just found their groove and managed to get a bunch of rounds in a row.
I feel like the thing with Drac, for example, with his aggressive playstyle and the bombs that he was trying to do, was really, really good. But there were some times, like you mentioned before, where he shouldn't have been as aggressive.
Yeah.
But SVIFT weren't able to punish him for it. Like, only once they managed to punish him for it. And if he was playing against a team like Seven, for example, there'd be a lot more punishment actually going on with that.
Yeah, and I mean, my only criticism of him for that play was just like the clock, right? Like, that was the only bad part about it. Like, it was just that there was that little time that, and they were ahead. Yeah, we got a bunch of people at the desk, so why don't we go listen to what they have to say and what their thoughts are on this map.
A slow start of a game, and then it went to a sprint finish. Guys, welcome back to the desk. I'm joined with DumTum. I'm joined with Epoli, and of course, it's still your boy Turbo. And yeah, so DumTum, I was watching this game, and I realized, man, it was quite the heart stopper around, like, at least that was admirable, I to put it, where you're going all the way back to like their last, and then you get kicked back to your own last, and then back to their last. Oh, my heart was racing. I can't imagine what the players were like. What was the differences between those two in the pushing out? Why was the push outs from Ascent just a bit better than like SVIFT?
Ascent kept finding openings whenever there was the smallest of opportunities. SVIFT always tried to put a lot of pressure into last, throw people on the point, trying to get something onto corner started onto last to get an advantage to push off, obviously. And whenever that happened, Ascent had immediate counter pressure on them, and immediately there was drag behind. People just walk into lobby and put on a lot of damage, and SVIFT couldn't handle it. They got forced, they lost too many people, whatever it was. They always lost way too much just off of their own sacks on last, and it just constantly made it so that whenever something went slightly wrong for SVIFT on Ascent's last push, or last hold, it just went coast to coast really, really quickly.
Epoli, this game felt like night and day difference compared to yesterday's game. Like, why is that? Like, why do you think it came down to that?
I think it comes out of two things, really. We said a lot yesterday about an apparent disconnect between Ediski and Condog. It was something which really, really hurt them yesterday. Today, at least from my point of view, it didn't seem like there was anywhere near as much. We still saw the same level of aggression from the Ascent players. We saw quite a few situations where Ediski and Drac, or Ediski and Silentes, would bomb forward to try and take position onto, you know, a midpoint or a second point, and it would still be kind of just effective in terms of taking space, but the rest of the team would move around that much, much better. I think that's something they must have looked at, because it was such a known problem yesterday, and it was something which they were kind of tripping up with time and time again. But today, they're looking a lot more coherent in terms of how they're taking positioning, and I think apart from that, it just comes down to, once you fix those problems, it's a case of, okay, now you're more in control of the game, and when you're more in control of the game, you force the other team, SVIFT in this instance, to... You know, it makes it more difficult for them to play their own game, and they start making mistakes. And then, as Dum said, you know, Ascent would just capitalize on any, you know, individual mistake SVIFT was making. Anytime they'd overstay their welcome, we saw Ascent would, you know, absolutely just crush them. Just, yeah, purely just from taking that position, taking that control. Yeah,
so I know games are heating up a bit. It's the playoffs, it's going up, but how important is this upper bracket game for them, really? Do you think all the players are giving everything they've got? They're packing out, like, secret strats? They're really going tooth and nail for this? Or are they not sweating it so much? Like, I mean, you're a coach.
I mean, it's still technically the upper bracket, so you still have a lifeline to fall back onto, but with how good the quality of teams is here still left in the tournament, you really don't want to have it come down to that. You just want to take the easiest way possible, have the advantages of just having those fewer games and those safer games in the upper bracket straight into the grand finals.
How about you, Epoli? Would you either give up your pocket strat, or would you just, you know, tank a like lower bracket, like drop down?
I think every single team right now, they're looking to get through kind of as quickly as possible, because you can always you can always kind of, scrim some other teams. It isn't a case of, they have to play less if they don't kind of, go into the lower thing and kind of play all these individual games. But at the same time, I do feel like there is a sense of you're not going to give up absolutely everything against a team. From a Ascent's point of view, they're not going to give up everything against the Feints and Swifts of the world because, like I said, they're looking for gold, and I feel like they might have some really weird stuff specifically aimed at 7. So I think they're putting their all into it, but I feel like maybe slightly later on in the day we'll be seeing like 110% from them as they start taking out their kind of notepads and really kind of get into some of the weird stuff.
I want to highlight a special player here because it's his first LAN. Well, his first competitive LAN in like an invite, and he's playing in this very game right now. And I want to know, what do you think of Lucas now that the initial like hype of him coming out in the group stage, having a pretty much a good time like any LAN demo man would? Is he all that he's cracked up to be now that you've seen him in a couple more games, or is he beyond expectations? What's your impression? What's your little review of Lucas?
I think he's certainly living up to the expectations. He's doing a fantastic job. He's always been the aggressive demo man that SVIFT sort of plays around, reminiscent of how Elako used to play with Ascent before he left. So he's sort of taking that like aggressive leading role for a lot of the plays they're making, and so far he's doing a really great job of it.
How about you, Epoli? Is he your main man at LAN, or have you got your eye on another demo?
I think the fact that I said, this is Lucas's first LAN, he's still relatively new to that top level. The fact that he doesn't look out of place compared to Smear, compared to Cadus, and compared to, how am I drawing blank on them? Idiski, that's the one. It's
because he keeps switching between Soldier and demo from the Highland tournament. I know what you mean. I keep looking over. I'm like,
exactly.
I thought you were playing demo, sir. Oh, no.
Confusing my brain. Plus, Phil's just over there. But, yeah, so the fact that he's not looking out of place, I think, is really, really good. It shows that he is an incredibly consistent player. But at the same time, when we saw him playing online, he would completely take over a game, and he would just, almost single-handedly ensure SVIFT would just dominate a team. Now, so far, that hasn't happened yet. Either that's a case of LAN being a very different environment where everyone's playing their A game, everyone's on that kind of level playing field, and it makes the situation a little bit different. Or maybe, I mean, it's always possible. He's playing well, but perhaps there is just a little bit more he could give.
So, if I could give you guys, like, if you cook up a win scenario for both of these teams going into the next map, do you think, like, you have, like, the way that both teams should win, or do you think they should just keep what they're doing? What's your opinion on it?
SVIFT needs to go one way or the other. Either they need to start slowing it down Ascent more, or they need to just pick up their own pace and don't let them play their game the way they want to and just start overwhelming them the same way they did to them. And it's one or the other. With the current pace, it's much easier for Ascent to just take the wheel in the game and do whatever they want.
All right, how about you, Epoli?
Yeah, if SVIFT let Ascent dictate the pace of the game, I agree with them completely. Like, it will ultimately just end up being Ascent in the driver's seat. But I feel like, there's, like I said, there's more SVIFT can give, and I feel like, just because Map 1 did go the way of Ascent, it was super, super close, and I feel like Map 2 is going to be where we really see some stuff happen.
Yeah, well, to bring you that happening stuff and to commentate it in full, lovely audio, it's going to be Beta and Grumpy Koi. We'll take it to them.
Thank you very much, guys. We're coming back into the second map of this best of 3, and it's going to be Gully Wash, which is quite scary for SVIFT because we've seen Ascent play Gully Wash quite a few times this LAN already, and they are very strong on this map.
Yeah, and especially I feel like one of the key things that they really have to work on is just shut down drag and just in the way, like not just focus them all the time, but in these stalemate situations, I feel like Ascent have actually been way too successful at getting those Uber forces out.
Yeah,
like that's happened a couple of times.
Like, even though Siege is a phenomenal medic and really, really good at staying alive and just playing, just keeping himself in a good position, when you're playing against someone like Drak, who's so experienced, especially at his bomb technique, it's very, very difficult. It's like he's not only got the ability to jump and hit big shots, but his mental timing and his internal clock is so good. Yeah,
and we actually saw, like, whenever SVIFT were managing to keep, like, seats alive during these stalemate situations, or whenever Ascent was sending people into him, right? Like, they had a lot of success like keeping seats alive in those situations translated pretty much perfectly into success in the game. So I think that's the key going into this next map on Gullywash. And in a lot of ways, it is easier to shut down soldiers. Like they're better in big door and just in chokes in general. But like once they go through those chokes, like you can actually spam them out and make sure that they don't get in. So it's just like you have to contend with really good timing on the soldiers' part. It's all about them timing it with other things going on, but you have to be really aware of what's actually going on, and you can actually stop it before it happens a lot more on Gullywash than you can on Badlands. Because Badlands can kind of be a maze in a lot of the ways. Like there's different routes that people can come from at all times, whereas Gullywash, it's a little bit more simple, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like the main thing about Gullywash is the mid-fight is very important and sets the tone. Now, I've mentioned it many times on LAN that I feel like one of the key parts of Ascent is their soldier combo.
Yes.
I don't stop talking about it, but I can't help it.
Seven literally said that in the interview in the grand final, that was the case. Like like the key to beating Ascent is to shut down the soldier combo.
And I feel like that's really important on the mid fight because there are so many plays that Drac and Salentas can actually do in regards to that mid fight. You know, really nice big bombs going on the soldier, getting Drac up, drop down, maybe using Drac as just a quick bomb straight in, double soldier bombs, loads of different plays. You know, cleaning up elbow. But if you can knock them down onto the main ground area and just clean them up, the rest of Ascent will trickle down with them. It'll be like a domino effect, and they'll start falling apart.
Yeah.
But if you don't deny them, and you really don't if your scouts aren't on point, dealing with all their bombs, dealing with everything they're doing, or your soldiers in a LAN environment, but as soon as you can deal with that, it will bring it forward. But let's just get a quick prediction before the mid-fight.
I think I'm just going to keep predicting SVIFT because this is very much a demo map, and I think Lucas is just about to pop off on this one.
I feel like Ascent will take this one, but I hope SVIFT can bring something into the bag. But right now, Adiski was a huge amount of damage onto a big door, and right now, Gink super low with only 2 HP on the low ground, and Salentas in behind just deals with all of those players, and there's been an absolute meat grind, but that's actually cleaned a lot of Ascent players out as well, with only AMS left.
Classy.
SVIFT playing it really nicely, and yeah, you mentioned Classy, really, really good, keen scout main, did some good little cleans out, and they denied the soldiers, which is what you need to do.
Yeah, he did really well there, and it was really interesting. I think Ascent just got a little bit too far back and choked there, and then when they tried to walk forward, it was just a perfectly timed jump in there from Papi and Ging. It just completely caused everyone to explode at once. But now the second point is actually being pressured, and Drac's going to just die instantly. Salentas will follow up like a good soldier body. And they've actually taken down Lucas, so Lucas going down, that's really huge. He's a big part of their DM game right now, but this fight is far from over.
Yeah, and as this extended fight happens, Salentas brings out the skill stick and Connor saves his life. That was a nice little, fun little play. But SVIFT, very much in control right now. Good amount of aggression out of them, and Ascent really need to get some sort of last hold going, or maybe try to deal with the fact that they've got a few good picks. They can kind of push into second. They're going to start things off with Salentas taking that high ground. Huge amount of damage coming out of Adiski, and the Uber has been popped on the side of SVIFT, and Connor holding it really, really nicely. Did use it a little later, and they managed to only take down Classy, though. They do get the second, and now Salentas dealing with Papi in that choke, and he has got a banner. So with AMS going down as well, Papi can build up that banner. He's at like 75% right now.
Yeah, that's really key, and we saw it actually work out pretty well. Like it only acted like a normal handbrake in a very stressful situation before, but so far it could definitely work out well for them. But unfortunately, Gink's going to try and see if he can get in there, but he will get shot down. Actually, Papi, he's jumped behind lines. Oh no, this banner, that's going to just amount to a big old nothing. And unfortunately, he's going to go down. So all that hard work to build the banner goes to waste. Both soldiers going down, but Drac immediately trying to go in, but get read perfectly there by the demo man. And Salentas, however, has snuck his way in. Oh, looks like he's just going to
sneak his way out.
Yeah, didn't want to go and feed even more. I think they were feeling the pressure. Yeah, Adiski was pretty weak. So if the soldier went down there, could go in. But speaking of a soldier, he's in deep. Yeah, Gink snuck his way through that choke, but unable to find his way onto the medic. So really, no soldiers so far really having much success going through these chokes. Even though they're actually finding the holes to get in, but they're not quite able to land their shots and get onto the medic.
Yeah, and Lucas right now holding down that choke point. They are looking to really get the ball. As soon as they get the ball rolling, Swift are very, very strong beater.
Right.
And I feel like Ascent really struggle being on the back pedal. I know most teams do, but I feel like Ascent are one of those teams at the moment they're on their back pedal, they just can't deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know. I really want to see what they want to do here, because we are in this very stalemated situation, and it's a lot easier to send in someone through choke into second than it is to do it the other way around. There's like more route to work on. And currently the Doormen, they're just farming damage, so great logs gonna come out of these guys. That is the important takeaway from that, you know.
Well, one really interesting situation right now, Beta, is actually the fact that Drac and Credu had Victor on lock for a bit. Gink has only just started to deny them, so they gave that quite a lot of space. And you can see right now, they're not really dealing with Victor that well. They're making it very risky. Now they've done the rotation, which is really nice to see. They may be able to get in. Lucas checking for traps. Does see the Drax in lower, and I feel like there's going to be a play to try and clean him up. They managed to do so. Now they've trapped off, completely surrounded, and denied the escape for Ascent.
Send a scout in behind lines. You can see he actually opened the door and gave away his position there, but like he is inside the spawn area right now. If they actually get Silentis because of that, just a scout running through choke,
this collapse is going to start happening. The collapse has started to happen from a Swift, with Credu trying to deal with the bomb from Ging, but Ging gets the force, which is really nice, and with only losing Ging, they can just trap all these players. Adiski trying to escape, but the Uber has come out. They're going to collapse, get Connor. Adiski trying to use the last bits of his life, but really well done by Swift there, Beta. And looking at it, Ascent, Drac, Silentes, the last sort of survivors until the rest of the respawns. Ams just coming back in, but Silentes is going to go down. Ams is down as well. Drac's trying to deny the point, but right now Swift are going to take that first round of the map.
Really well played there. Like just playing that big door, making that big rotation, then just getting players behind, and then immediately just capitalizing on it. And then we saw things just happening in choke, right? So that was just all like a quote-unquote big distraction. And then they came in from both sides, and Ascent just completely crumbled, had a way worse Uber, and Swift just managed to like get all the key picks that they needed and then just roll all the way into last. So great play by them, 1-0.
Yeah, Nadiski starting off the mid how he has for the previous one, which is a really nice amount of damage onto the combo, but Silentes playing that low ground, looking to bomb up right now with his teammate Drac, and they do get scruff, and it's trade for trades, but Adiski does go down, and the Ascent players start falling apart, with Papi getting on to Connor, and the only survivor being Credu, who is going to leave.
He's still buffed, so I'm kind of surprised that he doesn't try to go for some sort of play.
Yeah, he didn't take any damage during that.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just a big bait.
Big bait.
Yeah, I don't know. Like he just never found himself in a position, and he's just going to go for. I was going to think sniper, but it looks like it could be a pyro. If we're lucky, he's on the jetpack, but I don't think so. I think he's just getting ready to set up.
That's your thing, though, Bea, the jetpack.
To be fair, it is really bad. So I don't see why he would do it, but you know, I can dream. Yeah. And he's like his whole goal here is to protect the sentry gun going up, and that's going to be what they have to hope. Just like have this big damage sponge in the sentry gun with the pyro to just slow down this push and just make it a living hell for Swift.
And they're looking to send in maybe a soldier and scout. Uber straight in. They're trying to use that scout to get rid of the sentry gun, but Ams is going to keep it alive for a really decent amount of time, but Lucas does manage to clean it up. He's trying to block up the right-hand side, but he's going to start backpedaling as he knows there's not a good position for his team. Drac, really nice rocket from Drac to pick up Glassy there, and with so many Swift players down, Seeds dying as well, and Lucas being the only one left. Nice pipe onto Ams, but he's going to have to just backpedal. He's going to get, he could be in a very risky situation. He had a nice setup of a trap there, but oh, I like that trap. I really like that trap.
Yeah, that's a pretty neat trap. But it kind of okay. It's gone already. He just did it. But
it's still there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. It still exists. Oh.
They're going to go for the drop-down play, and Silentes is going to go for a big bomb there, and all of the players really. Adiski actually goes down very, very early, and they do trade, but you don't really want to be losing your demo. As
that's so optimistic.
Oh, that was so optimistic. On land, but they forced him.
Oh, yeah, he was just a big distraction. Like, everyone airshot him, but it doesn't matter because he was just a big distraction. He didn't even airstrafe or anything. He was like, yeah, shoot me, guys, shoot me, shoot me, shoot me. And this big flying target.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Pencil jump, and then everyone's just going to be focusing on you because it's like, oh, that's an easy air shot. I'm
Yeah.
going to land, I've got to take it. And then...
and then he just got forced from Joke. Yeah, so pretty good play. But
oh my God, Drak gets seeds with an absolutely incredible bomb on to Battlement. And that's completely changed the pace as Celentes picks up Scruff as well.
Dude,
Happy.
Seeds might not even be able to spawn in time for this, but actually this bomb
Oh,
in.
Gink!
Oh,
no.
no! How is he this alive?
30 HP.
That's really clutch there from Connor. Just dancing around, just getting away from those medics. And like, Seeds is the only one alive. Yeah, no one can spawn in time. And that was just a big old collapse there. Like, just the fact that they were unable to get anything after the big loss there is really unfortunate. So that's going to make it 1-1. So Gulliver's, I kind of expect it to be maybe a little bit slower paced and to just see maybe Swift trying to calm things down to control things
They've done
better.
the exact opposite.
Yeah, exactly opposite. So what do we know? Right.
I don't know, we just watch TF2 a bunch. That's kind of our thing.
Yeah.
And right now, Lucas, a little bit of damage, but both Ascent players of Drak and Celentes, big plays, picking up so much. But whilst that's happening, Pappy put in some damn good work, and he's actually kind of turned the tables. Both meds are down, and it's a DM fight between three relatively healthy Ascent players versus Swift, who are pretty low on the HP pool, but Drak getting bullied off. Credu pushing in. It does end up going down, though, to Gink. Gink gets the second one as well onto Arms.
Oh,
And
at, I don't know which arena this is, but this is Gulliver's mid.
at 6.
All right, at 6. Oh, no, the scout comes in and ruins our fun. And
Oh, Celentes comes in and ruins theirs. A huge amount of damage coming out of him, joining with Connor and Adiski, and the second part of this mid-fight has started once again. No one really taking the win. And with Adiski...
it's so prolonged. Like, they have just been jumping this nipple on the middle for so long.
Oh no, Celentes get seeds. That is so tragic. They're not going to be able to really play off the heels or stay in much longer, as the rest of Ascent can now capitalize as long as Connor doesn't go down, but no Swift players are looking to stay behind to take him out.
That was a long-winded fight, and it just ended up being Ascent there. Just, I think Seed just didn't, like, it just wasn't called properly where Celentes was, and he thought he could just walk around the corner, but yeah, there was just a soldier waiting for him. That was really unfortunate. And then once that happened, it was just no way they were ever going to win that mid. So really well played from Ascent, very long mid. They win it out, and the comeback potential here is real for them. They started being one down, but now they're getting ready to push in with a full Uber advantage, about 50% on Seed. But, oh, what a trap.
You know what happened there?
What?
Adiski killed his teammate by doing that. He tried to use his sticky to deny it, but he's gone in. Deal with that sentry gun quite nicely, but the Pudis has come out on the right-hand side from Classy, and it's just enough to push them away with Credu down, but Drak, patient as always. Watch this, he's going to just time this perfectly. I can almost feel it. Checking. No one's checked water right now. They don't know. Oh, they've just checked him now. Gink
You can still
doing the
win
right
it, though.
thing.
You can still win it, though. Like, shooting up inside this point is actually pretty doable. I think some people have been sent back.
Yeah, he's going to get cleaned up. Nearly good timing, but luckily Gink was like, oh, I can't see Drak anywhere. Where's he going to be?
Yeah,
And that's exactly
and
where he's going
nobody
to be.
did check the other side. Looks like
Oh,
Celentes,
Celentes.
he might have accidentally jumped a little bit too high there. Just did a C-tap jump by accident, I think. He just went way too high, so his second rocket off the wall didn't do anything.
But again, huge amount of damage coming out of Adiski, and he's managed to get them to use that Uber, trying to take mid. This is not the best situation to be in, because now Connor's just about to pick up his, and we know Ascent. They're not going to want to sit idly. They're going to want to take this in. We're seeing them prepping, getting all their heals up, and they're looking like maybe sending Celentes in through drop down.
It's
He hasn't
actually the
been
second
spotted.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, that's actually really, really well done by them. They pushed forward, but then they've lost so many players. They've lost Adiski, they've lost Drak now, as well as Celentes. And with only 3 players left, Credu and Ams need to get out of there with Connor, and Swift are going to start rolling into the second. But actually, whilst this is happening, there's a sneaky boy.
yeah.
No one sees Ams. He does a nice meat shot, but he's not going to be enough to take down Scruff. Scruff reacts almost perfectly.
Yeah, the squirrel on
There's
his shoulder gave him strength. Manages to take down AMS. And he's going to go for that trap again. It's a pretty neat trap. I don't think I've ever seen that, which is kind of weird because it's sort of outside of where you normally put them, which is sneaky. I like it. I feel like every time I see a new sticky trap in TF2, it's like, wow.
He just got puppy with it, so it works. It was really well played, but he's actually gone into the background right now, getting ready to defend that point, whilst SVIFT are going to backpedal out. They know that Connor's got that over. They've not managed to force it, but they've cleaned up so many players. They've taken down Salentes and Drak, so they may have that opportunity to create something out of this, as Adichie does go very, very far forward, and he's going to get cleaned up by Lucas. So actually, we're not going to see much of a push out from Ascent, because they just lost all of their like main splash.
Yeah, they went
players.
out there really to try and get that counter-sack in, and then even lock off the doors. I kind of like sending out the demo like that, because very often the respawn is going to be like spies trying to go through the door, right? Or like just trying to take a shortcut inside, and then you can just get an easy pick, and then maybe you can make something off of that. But that time around, he got punished for it pretty hard. And Lucas is actually playing really well, and he's going to go for this trap again. I don't even know.
Oh,
like,
immediately gets denied.
Yeah, but like I almost feel like it's too high up, so like you almost have to jump to to reach it. And yeah, like normally people don't ever put stickies there, and you don't actually have to check that. But yeah, very interesting. But they're just going to take this top lobby, try to see if they can lock things off, and then maybe try to send people through Riverside. That's definitely a place where they have a lot of players right now, and perhaps they want to spam down a sentry gun. They do need to find it first, and I think they have spotted it indeed, but they also need to make sure it doesn't get reflected by this pyro.
Yeah, they're looking to use that river angle, but actually Ging sneaks his way into water. I think Drak's really, really, really aware of that. But also, that spam's not just for taking down the sentry. Pappy's got a banner.
That's true, and I'm pretty sure
is
you
that a buff?
Is that a buff banner? I can't quite tell. I think I saw him be like on 330. So
okay.
Well, he's on 200 right now. That could be a coincidence. I can't quite tell.
I think it's Battalion's backup. Well, yeah, it's Battalion's backup. So it is a Battalion's. So I'm not quite used.
Going?
Wait, what? He's on. He's waiting for a spawner. He's fighting
he
someone
might just
in
be
their spawn.
coming out of choke as well. Like
No, he's just so far behind right now.
Right.
Oh, that rocket! How did that not connect with Classy? That first rocket was so crisp.
blast bugs are a thing even on land. It doesn't matter who you ping. Man, that feels bad. But yeah, he snuck his way behind there. And now, like before, we did see that really backfire for Ascent. And, you know, maybe that can backfire again. They're not quite moving on it the same way that they did that time around.
Yeah.
So
Adichie's well aware that, Ging, nice little play there, has got to half the cap, and now...
Demo's so weak as well.
What a good angle from Lucas there. And with Drak in water, they may be able to do something here. They have gone into water, the 1v1 has happened, but now Pappy is so low and he's trapped in water. He's going to have to try and deal with Drak somehow, but he's just going to yeah, there's nothing else he can do. I can understand where he comes from.
Does it deny 90% of damage? Otherwise, he's probably in a lot of
He's
trouble.
probably going to die anyway. Oh my god, it did make him survive a rocket that he usually wouldn't, but it did go down to 4 health, and
yeah,
it cleaned him up in the air.
35 health is not optimal for,
No.
for survival, even with a banner.
Yeah.
Like
that was a relatively suboptimal situation to be in.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Right now, Ascent holding very passively, and SVIFT in a good position because they're on that last. It's a very hard last to deal with, but they've got a lot of time. They're not in disadvantage. It's equal. Whoever kind of takes this is going to be in the lead, and SVIFT looking for opportunities whilst Ascent are just trying to retort everything. They've got that nice little bunched up combo setup, which is very far forward, so you can't really come out of shutter with this.
No, it's very, very difficult to get out that direction. And I'm kind of curious what they decide to do. And Pappy, he's just going to be right back on that banner. I quite like it. They haven't been able to make very good use of it so far. I would almost like to see a more proactive use of it. Oh, he actually lost that. Drak was just not looking at him at all, but just did a perfect 180 and just hit him. That's an art in itself. I can't tell you how much I practice doing like perfect 180 rockets, like just right behind me, because people would just like run up, shoot me in the back, and then turn
and
around.
it's so satisfying hitting those.
Yes, and he just did that perfectly. And actually, they're sending out Kradu, so they're just waiting for some poor fool to open the door. It looks like they're actually going to have their engineer open it. And they made quite a lot of space right now, but it's very difficult. Sniper is generally better in Riverside, and so it makes some sense to send him in a different way just because that's more difficult to actually predict. But also Gink, he is on Sniper himself, and I don't think Ascent actually know this. I don't think they saw him. They might have, but I don't think they did. So the first shot could be incredibly important.
Yeah, it could be. We do see. I don't think we see any locker. They may have spotted the dot by now, but Credu is. Yeah, he's no longer on sniper, so he's not trying to counter that out. But again, that position they're holding is so hard to really snipe from main, just because there's that little lip that just completely denies it.
Yeah, it just like perfectly blocks everything. However, you can go for hero plays all day, right? You can go through balcony, you can go through riverside where you can stand on top of the lip on the doorway. He might be going for it now. We'll see what to do. You see, running out of ammo. There's no way. He hasn't been shooting that much, right?
No.
So
I'm not 100% sure what that was. That was some cool little strat that we just...
toggling. That's what that was.
Oh, yeah.
It's like whenever people just stop doing things. So he toggled his aimbot on. Definitely check out his mouse server. So now he's going to hit it for sure. Oh, doesn't even see
that
the
was
medic.
such good denial from... Yeah, Ginky ain't getting out of that. Adiski picking up that pipe, that was really, really nice. That was such a good good read from Ascent, and they just... The moment he appeared, there was like 3 rockets firing at him, and stickies, and pipes. It was just like, there was nothing he could really do against that. Like, he just decided to bail, and he just couldn't... You can't get out of that situation.
I kind of like having the sentry gun and the dispenser there in that kind of situation. Because, like, first of all, the pyro has like a ton of ammo, so you can just deflect all day. But also, the medic has so much stuff to hide behind that it's just extremely difficult, right? Like, we saw Ging there try to see if he could find the angle, and he just could not. It is very interesting that literally everyone right now is in the same angle, and so it should be pretty easy to spam. You can see spam come from 3 different directions, but they're still just warding it off so efficiently. But they do finally get one trade out here, and Drag is very weak as well. So this could be the window of opportunity that they've been looking for. They could also just play the point.
Yeah, one other thing that would be really interesting is I've seen it played a couple of times against this strat is the lock and load coming out.
Oh, really? Yeah.
The lock and load, because it's ever so slightly different and it's got a really nice travel time. It could be an option as well as a direct hit.
That's true, yeah.
I know they're like weird plays, but in that situation where you're trying to deal with a pyro, pyros are going to be very consistent at dealing with normal rockets and normal pipes. Having that little extra bit of speed means you could probably deal a nice little 200 damage on that
Sniper
situation.
actually getting a pretty good view of the medic right there. That was pretty dangerous. So Seed says, gonna praise his lucky stars right there that he didn't get picked off. So Ascent once again just pushing forward and trying to make a little play while they have an opportunity to do so, and then just retreating back out after they've done that. But you know, the play I really want to see is to try and run a scout into water. Yeah. Because if a scout can put pressure onto the water, someone has to go deal with him, and then Demo and both soldiers are still open to either jump the medic, jump the point, or spam out everything. They're just gonna Uber in.
Yeah, they're going to Uber in. I think they got a little bit bored, and it's just been completely denied. So maybe they're actually... We do see a player looking around at Secret. They managed to sneak him in, and he's actually going to start time on the point. And yeah, so nice little point play there from Secret. Went in the right-hand side, dropped down. I don't think anyone was really paying attention to him being there. And right now, really good spam. The dispenser does go down, and I feel like Pappy's going to also maybe, yeah, he's going to clean up that sentry, or at least there was a save from Ams there. No, he switched. Yeah, he just gave up.
And then immediately decides, yeah, we should probably just try it. You know, when he just doesn't get a revenge crit, he's like, what's the point of having a sentry, right? Yeah. Like, that's why you have a sentry gun, to get revenge crit.
For those revenge crits.
Yeah, indeed. But I actually do think just getting that scout into the water was actually the key play there. I hope they do that more. But there's only 1.5 minutes remaining before the round just resets. And SVIFT do not want to do that because they would lose 2 points.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's kind of Ascent's game plan right now. You can see that they were starting to push out, but they don't need to be too risky. They've taken down Gink, but they don't even want to make too much of an advantage. So yeah, I think Adiski is aware that there's going to be a lot of pressure onto SVIFT to make something happen. Because then if they don't use this, they're just going to lose a huge advantage of positioning and situational map control, and just revert it back to a mid-fight. And mid-fights are so dangerous, but Lucas is going to go in on the right-hand side, going to try and force out Connor. They managed to do so. They're going to do this exchange and back out. They haven't lost any players, which is really, really nice, but they haven't snuck anyone in. There is a scout.
Oh, there's like a heavy as well. So Ging is fully buffed. If he can come in from this balcony and just start raining things down, actually he's going to go through Riverside. That's very interesting. About 30 seconds remaining before the round resets. If they do get time onto the point, it will delay that. And let's see what they do with it. So now he's just in water. He did get an arrow, so yeah, he can definitely put some pressure on. This is good time. I like this.
Oh, look at these traps, though. They're so hard to see. And Adiski's just going to pop them. And he's going to mean that... Oh, Disky!
Get insta dropped onto the medic.
Oh.
It might not be enough, but it's...
That's some speed. That's some pace. That was gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm really happy we actually got that in there. So,
yeah,
we're actually going to see a round reset. I haven't seen these in so long. So we're just going to go to another mid-fight. Neither team were able to actually push out of the entrenched position that they were in. So another mid-fight. It's going to be our 4th mid-fight, despite it being 1-to-1. It's very strange.
With this 4th mid-fight, Lucas looking to deal a lot of damage to all the players that are coming out of the big door. And as things reset, Adiski again dealing some spam. We've got some initial bombs coming out of Papi trying to deny big door, but Salentes and Drac looking to start something up, but they do deal with some really nice plays. Both soldiers are now down, but they did lose Seeds. They do take down Connor though. So all in all, it's actually not too bad for Swift, but it is going to be a DM fight, and Ams wins that one.
Adiski jumped up through the drop down and then immediately has the medkit snatched up by AMS. So if he doesn't win this duel, he's going to look real silly.
It's 14 HP Scout versus a demo. Lucas, almost hits that pipe. He's just going to get spammed so hard. He's going to have to back out because there's nothing you can really do against a Scout like that.
Yeah, but
especially someone like Ams.
But he went back and then he brought some friends. So this mid fight is far from over. They're getting ready to jump this point and block it, and they will do just that. Credo, however, just denying high ground so effective right now. So they're going to jump in through the medic.
Salentes with a skill stick doesn't manage to connect it, but Seeds is still going to go down to Credo. And whilst that's happening, Connor nice and safe, cool as a cucumber in choke, but a lot of damage onto those players. And we're going to see Scruff actually cleaning up Adiski, chasing onto Connor, but Connor's going to back pedal out. And actually, at the end of that whole situation, Swift take the mid.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't capped it yet, but I assume they will. Like, Scruff is on 25 HP, but Ascent, I don't think they're in a good position to really contest this. But yeah, that was extremely scrappy. AMS actually did a really good job there. I actually think it was the right move to take Adiski's medkit there, but Adiski, as a result, they didn't quite communicate well enough. Like, he shouldn't have jumped up through the drop down because he was just so weak. He was just standing with 14 HP and choke, not really doing much. So as a result, Swift, they will take this middle, and now there's even a 50% advantage right now for Ascent. The medic did die quite a bit earlier, so there we go. Just going to Uber straight in.
Adiski with a really, really nice bomb. Huge amount of damage onto Lucas. And right now, Beta Lucas is going to get cleaned up at the elbow. And Ascent, really, really strong push in. Really, really well done. But Seeds still alive with his Uber. But Salentes is on the chase. And he's going to chase Papi down.
Got him.
Oh, no, that was actually Gink. My apologies. And Gink's going to go down. And Salentes takes a huge amount of damage. It's going to end up going down to Scruff. And Adiski follows suit with Papi. Drag going down as well. Scruff putting in work on that second point. And back pedal comes out of Ascent. They're going to go to their own second because they are going to concede this mid. Still, 4 minutes left.
AMS went spy and then immediately
regrets his decision.
Yeah, I do think so, at least.
Yeah.
Yep, all right. Just going to switch away. But yeah, that was actually really good by Swift because that was pretty much a DM fight, and they out-DM'd Ascent, and it was the soldier combo as well. And when you get that kind of a win in the books, that must feel really good for them. So Swift, they definitely have some momentum. There's about 3.5 minutes remaining, and they have every opportunity here to go in. They have a slight Uber.
Ascent got forced?
Yes, they got forced. So now the Uber advantage will be on Swift.
And Swift are going to come in really nicely onto this midpoint. They have pushed players down, and Lucas with a huge amount of aggression. Now they're just trying to push players out, but they are surrounded by blue. They've got blue players behind them, to the front and to the side, and they're stuck in the middle with you. And it just means that they aren't able to really deal with that. It's going to be Ams in the background having a bit of a 1v1, but Classy, not a scout to be taken lightly. Maybe it's only his first season or second season in Prem, but oh my god, what a player.
He's been playing extremely well this map. Swift, they actually wanted to put on some more aggression here. Pretty good job by Salentes so far, actually denying. He's doing a ton of damage, not giving any space to anyone from Swift, and they're actually just going to have to back out. Creator was setting up on this heavy main as well. And I think Swift, they might just go for it right now. It is even Uber, so they could probably just cool off a little bit. Papi's going to go down. I think maybe, once again, he might just go for a banner. They do have time to do that. They have like time to build a banner, Uber in, re-push with the banner. I think that's the going plan, but you never know. Like, definitely, I was standing behind Swift the other day, And I definitely noticed that they were like 2 minutes ahead or something like that in their planning. It was always like
some sort of idea, some sort of understanding. And that comes down to Seeds as well, because I feel like Seeds has got a
Seeds
real...
and Poppy,
Yeah, Seeds and Poppy have a real good understanding of this game. And right now they're looking to maybe do something here. They've got the banner, so I think they want to do an exchange play, but they know that that Pyro's there. And the Pyro's going to take a little bit of damage left and right, but he's denying really, really well. But Adiski actually manages to take down Classy, and this is going to cause Drak to skip all the way into battlements, but not able to connect anything as 1 minute 40 left on the clock. May go to a golden cap, but right now I feel like Swift really just want to make something happen, and I know that Ascent are going to try and deny everything that's thrown at them. But right now, with 1 minute 30 left, something's got to happen, and Pappy's got to make something happen with his team. They're being denied. Nice rocket from him. They're coming on the right-hand side. They're trying to deal with that Pyro, but that Pyro denies so well that Uber is completely defunct. And we don't see any sort of plays in river or around to try and make something happen. There is a bit of a rotate coming out of Lucas, coming onto the river side, but Salentes actually overextends, does go down. This is really nice. Scout in lower, they're trying to make something happen, and another scout in there. But the fight from the Adiski is so good. They're trying to get, a little bit of an overextension. The banner has come out as well. Pappy just needs to use it. He's holding it just for the last second. Come on, boys. I think they're going to wait until like 40 to 35 and just bust in.
Yeah, so at this point, there's pretty much no way that Ascent can actually push all the way in and capture Swift back. So Swift are either going to win or it's going to go to a golden cap. So this is a pretty good position. However, they also have quickie bombs right now. They have a banner. They've got all the tricks up in the book, but they were a bit too slow to actually use it before the Uber came out. So they might decide to Uber in and then use the banner, or they might just use the banner in and then hope to get into a superior position and maybe milk the Uber. Well, we'll see.
They can use the banner straight in. They're actually gone in lower, and they've started the Uber and the banner, so not too great, but they've cleared space on the point. Pappy's wrapped around quite nicely, but Arms, the rest of Ascent, are trying to deal with the situation, and Gink bombs in.
3 seconds.
There's only 3 seconds left. Lucas tries to clear it, but it's going to be a stalemate, and that's going to be a golden cap on this gully wash. And it's been very, very interesting. We're just sitting down because that was quite an intense game, and I like to stand up on those sorts of things.
Yeah, that was definitely, we got our money's worth of action in that match. I really thought that Ascent actually looked kind of toothless for a lot of that match. Like they didn't have any really dangerous push-outs coming back out. So like Swift, they looked in complete control, and then when it reset, they also managed to take mid once again. I mean, it wasn't a pretty mid, it was pretty long, but overall, I'd say that Swift is definitely looking like they are in control.
They're looking a lot stronger than on Badlands, which surprised me because last time these guys faced off, it was the polar opposite.
Right.
Gully Wash went to the side of, if I remember correctly, the side of Ascent, and then Prolands went to Swift.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that's odd how that works out. I really do feel like both, like Lucas has been playing really well.
Yes.
And that I think that just means more on Gully Wash. And they've also done a really good job of just like actually out DMing the soldiers, and I think that Classy has actually stepped up and done like an absolutely fantastic job so far. I haven't looked at the logs or anything, but that would be my feeling that like Classy and Lucas are just doing extremely well. And also like we haven't seen that really quick resack from Sack coming from Drak coming out, right?
Sack from Sack.
A lot of CK sounds there, yeah. But yeah, we haven't really seen that. So they have managed to shut that down, and that was one of the things that I really wanted them to really focus on, and they've done that successfully.
Yeah, one thing I will say though is that last hold technique that Ascent was doing is so strong, so far forward, but it's working really well for them. And unless Swift really kind of rethink how they're going to push into that, it's going to be very difficult for them to deal with it. We will be going live on the second. The
second map.
Second map. But the second time round, and this golden cap, 15-minute duration, and the bombs come in from Drak and Salentes, and they're trying to connect things, and Lucas is going to be the first one to go down, and Ascent taking the league really nicely. The problem is, if they do win this, then they are going to be going forward past this upper bracket, and Fredu and I think that's Bassi are mincing words a little bit. But they're going to have to back out, and all in all, with Gink coming in behind. That's going to be a mid to Ascent. Really well played. And Drax still very far forward. Going to take that pack. And he's something they have to think about. They can't really contest too much because they have that aggression. But Ascent doing really well. Working to just shove SVIFT back piece by piece by piece. Off damage, off picks. Really, really nice.
It felt like the entire middle was just
like
Lucas
is copying a D-ski.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. If he is, I wonder who came up with it first. Maybe like Lucas did it and then everyone else just copied, or maybe it's the other way around. It's
He's not aware?
Oh yeah, they haven't seen it yet. He hasn't fallen for it either. I really feel like it's super high up. So.
But look at this, really, really good from Ascent. They've got 2 players into water. They're going to start the time. The denial from Drac, but then you're going to have Credu come back in. He's only got 13 HP, so he'll probably get cleaned up in the lower ground if he gets chased. But no, Gink being very, very smart in lower right now, just sandwiching him up, and Pappy going to end up cleaning him up there. And right now, SVIFT looking to push out.
Indeed, and we should clarify that this is a 15-minute round at most. Whoever holds middle, if they don't capture all the points, will win this mid-fight. So that's not really relevant right now, but just so you know how it's going to go on. If Ascent win this, they will move on, and they are very likely to meet 7 in the next round. I think 7 are playing against Faith? I can't remember. But they're playing against another team. And so they moving on to the upper bracket means that you're in a lot better position. So definitely a lot on the line right now. I really like how Ascent sent players into the water. I feel like SVIFT didn't do that quite enough. And it's a really great way to just open things up, because if you want to get a soldier in, even just through Riverside, having someone in water is the best way to distract from that.
And Drac actually is down currently, but they managed to pick up Gink. And with Solentes on the spy, he's looking for some sort of angle.
It's definitely been figured out. I don't know. They don't know where he is.
But they know he's there.
Yeah. If they don't know, this pipe bro is just absolutely going spy checker on him. So, so then it's like, do I want to go in there? I don't know. It doesn't look nice there at all. I think I'm just going to sit here and I'm just scouting guys. It's fine. I'm contributing, I swear. Might just uncloak on the point, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like Adiski's doing a very, very good job right now. If he can just, he's calling the sticks, but if he could just find a nice little safe spot where he can just start baiting it, I think Happy may be aware as Drac does go down, and he's looking in that area to see if there's actually a spy. But oh, nice rockets from Gink. Just that little bit of damage, but still, Solentes incredibly patient, looking for some sort of pay, and I think they are aware that there must be a spy. Just heard the voice line from Lucas there, and there is the spy. He starts it, he's just going to get cleaned up. I think that's good. Bait a little bit over the point, get a bit of a distraction, maybe create an opportunity for your teammates, because really they were so aware that they couldn't do anything off it.
Yeah, they were also holding the door open, which is kind of useless because Solentes is going to spawn later, but okay, that was just for Credu to go sniper. So that's very interesting. So they're going for the sniper instead. Looks like they're not going to have a banner or anything, but just double soldier, a single scout, and a sniper. And this is one of those last pushes where having only one scout is kind of fine. It's not like Badlands or Granary where scouts are like really important going into the last point. You can kind of get by with just one if you play it right. So yeah, Credu, he's gone sniper, and we've seen Credu just do it so many times. Oh my god. He actually got a really nice look onto that medic, but he just dies behind that sentry gun, and he will manage to save himself. But yeah, Credu, he's going to try and do that probably a couple of times, and it is so scary for any medic to deal with.
It is very, very difficult, but look at the spam coming out of Ascent. That's such good work dealing with all of that sentry setup. And Scruff, a little bit scared, having to deal with this push that is going to come in on him, but the bomb comes in, and that's a huge distraction. They're going to be able to come in if Lucas doesn't work his magic and keep them away, but the 2 times is on the point. No one denies it.
Oh, so close.
So close, but now they're all bunched up, and Adiski tries to spam in to get just a pick of some description, but that kind of shows you the curse of having a
sniper.
Yeah.
Like
if Credu was also on scout, they would have had that round.
Yeah, at the very least, they could have put on a ton of pressure. As it is right now, like a sniper cannot pressure the point.
No.
Nope, he just stands really far back and doesn't do anything. He can help other players pick players off while you pressure the point, but as it was, they just didn't have anyone to do it. So Oh, Pyro gonna
Pyro
take him
down.
down. Yeah, he had like 2 heads lined up right there, and the Soda might go down as well. He's so close.
Oh, he takes 165, so he is very low. He's going to get cleaned up by the second shot. They're going to be looking for one more beater, and right now, Ascent.
They actually did get the force off. I didn't see that at all.
I didn't see them get the force. This is going to be the collapse onto Ascent. Swift doing such a good job of trying to deny it, but Ascent just completely relentless. Good work from both teams, really, but I feel like Swift are doing an amazing job. They cleaned up a Disky as well. Siege going in to heal up that demo and help with the last-ditch defense. And Credu trying to maybe get a headshot, but well done from Swift.
Yeah, those respawns came in just in time, and enough players stayed alive for long enough that they just barely bought enough time. And just like, oh, this poor soldier. Okay, wow, Credu actually missed a railgun. That's very rare to see that. But yeah, well, once again, he contributed a lot in the beginning of the fight, and then he just kind of fizzled out, and he definitely would have been better as a scout at the later end of that fight. So they're not just quite able to just really just close out this game, and it's halfway due to the fact that they have a sniper. Like, you can't really say that it was a sniper's fault because he did. No. Like, he opened up the fight, but he just wasn't there to help.
It's not his fault. It's just a fact of the class. Is like, even though it's really good at making those picks, unless you can get like a ridiculous amount of entry picks, it can be something. But
speaking of entry picks, there's another one.
But there's actually been an Uber exchange. An Uber exchange has happened in the lobby whilst that's going on, and Ams has made the play to go in lower. He's actually going to clean up at Scruff. And with Pappy down as well, they're starting to go on to the point. Ascent have just cleaned up the demo, and they're going to be able to clean this up right now.
And Seed has gone down to the sniper as well. There's a single Pyro. He needs to kill everything, and he just can't do it.
Well done, Ascent. That's going to bring it to the Golden Cap going to Ascent. And that's going to be 2 maps to Ascent, which means that they are going to be traveling forward and facing the whoever plays the next. So is this the upper bracket or the lower bracket?
This is the upper bracket. You all start in the upper bracket. They both played yesterday, right? And they both won their match. I think they played against open or teams from the open groups, right?
Oh.
So they absolutely won that. But some of them were actually pretty good games. We should mention, right? Like we did
really,
see them.
Well.
But yeah, they definitely won that. So this is still the upper bracket, and they will move on. And I think 7 is the favorites for them to meet there.
Yeah.
But you know, maybe 7 just decide to lose. You know, maybe they're hungover. You never know. But definitely, we're gonna keep an eye on that. I'm sure we can get some clarification on it as well. But yeah, Ascent, after looking kind of like that seems to be a thing coming in with the Swift, is that the Swift, they look so dangerous, but they're just unable to pull it out in the end.
Yeah, it feels like they've got all of the makings during the start, but when it comes to like finishing off and cleaning it up, little mistakes start coming out. Like they just couldn't, like you could see that they weren't able to do the last hold anywhere near the level that Ascent were able to do it. Like Ascent just held them back so easily.
Yeah,
but
literally 10 minutes, right?
Just 10 minutes of them just holding their last. And really, it was so difficult for Swift to really deny it. They had some really clutch holds, but in the end, I just feel like Ascent were just that little bit better on the last pushes and just in the last area in general.
Yeah, I like the way they played last points better, both on defense and on offense. Like they were a lot better at stretching things out and switching it up. Right there, like Spire, they went sniper, they sent people into water, they sent in suicides. They did like everything, right? So it's not like you just got Ascent figured out. Whereas Swift, you pretty much had them figured out after 5 minutes. So definitely Swift. I think they need to come up with some more strategies and perhaps ways of just approaching these last pushes, and they can be really good because they were winning the team fights very handily.
They had very, very good DM and very, very good playstyles. But what we're going to do is right now we are going to be looking to pass on to our analysis desk in a moment. We have got Turbo Tabs joined by News and Dum Tum, so I think we're going to go talk to them now. Yep. What do you guys think of the map, guys?
Slow, methodical. These describe News' sleeping patterns because News has only just gotten up. Goddamn News. And you didn't even iron your shirt. You should have learned from mistakes, man.
Yeah, I know. It has to be one of us every day,
Well, it's glad to have you on the panel, News. I don't need to introduce News. You know who News is. He's your big brain caster master. And we are also joined in by Dum Tum. He's a fellow caster master as well. So, guys, what are your opinions about that last game? Anything you want to immediately just throw out there?
Well, Italy had the suggestion that it needed to be slower or faster, one of the two for Swift, and this was definitely the other side. It was a really, really slow game compared to Badlands, which was a much more back and forth game across the board. This was a lot of stalemate. Swift tried the hardest to just not let Ascent do much at all, and that worked for the most part, but they just couldn't do much with it either. They struggled with the stalemate just as much the other way around.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like the case where throughout the tournament thus far, Swift had been quite good at slowing things down on last and in defensive positions, but against the better teams like Ascent and Seven, when it comes to grinding out the stalemates and creating the openings, I feel like they've been struggling because the game plan from Ascent and Seven, they've been really good thus far, just as good defensively sound as Swift have been.
And we got a good look at that Pyro Sentry Gun defense. Oh, I think I know it like the back of my hand now, and I haven't even played the game for so long. Like, what is the way to beat that, guys? It seems like almost impenetrable to the Swift squad. I'm not, and maybe a little bit to the Ascent squad as well. I mean, you get the Sentry Gun up, you want to spam it, but the Pyro's reflecting your stuff. There's got to be a weakness, right?
I think a lot of the time, I mean, we saw a bit of success with Credu on the Sniper. He wasn't quite hitting the same kind of streaks as he has in some cases in the past. But I feel like counter-pick classes is often the better way to go against that, because if you're trying to trade an Uber, a lot of the time there's just too much to deal with in terms of the Pyro and the Sentry to really get a trade out of the way. Half the time, if you're committing with an Uber, you're just going to use yours and not get onto their medic.
Yeah, on both sides. Another way to approach this was for both teams to just take this general, like, overwhelming approach, just constant spam from all angles, while a Scout or a Soldier just tries to, like, play the point as quickly as they can, so that they have to split attention as much as possible and hope that somebody slips up on the defense, which can work greatly. Much better, obviously, without the Pyro, since he covers the Sentry really, really well, but it's the generally favored approach by a lot of teams, and oftentimes really effective, but it just requires like good coordination between every single player, so that everything falls into the right place.
Right, boys. Well, that was a clean sweep by Ascent. They took both of the maps. No need for the best of three of this best of three. So it's going to go on to our next round, and we've got a piece of ancient technology here that's going to show us the way. And we've got the brackets up here. So we've got 7 defeated, just to catch you all up. 7 defeated Feint Gaming in a 2-0 sweep as well. Bit unsurprising.
Where Product and Badlands, I heard.
Okay. I mean, we can get, I guess, our light impressions about that before we go on. Like, what do you think of that Dum Tum? You know, you're Feint Gaming. You should be throwing your hat on the ground, be like stomping on it. Are you?
I'm surprised that Product was chosen here. That must have been their pick, I imagine, because Badlands has not gone well for them against Seven in scrims in the last few weeks. The mid-fights were just really overwhelming for Seven. They had troubles with shutting down the Soldiers, taking their side a lot of times, and that it was a big issue for them previously. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was Feint's pick. I'm more surprised Seven that Product happened, but at the same time, with a team, or with teams like Swift and Ascent at this event, you need your practice on Product against them.
Yeah, Product's definitely one where the overall strategy and kind of the foreplanning that goes in beforehand and lands kind of plays a big role into it. And, you know, Cadis and the Seven boys, they've been playing pro lands with pretty much the same plan and a good core of the same players for a good while now, so that's kind of a staple. The thing is with pro lands, because it wasn't in the season, we've seen a few kind of odd results thus far in the tournament. We saw Swift, I think that was the map that they took off
Ascent, yeah.
Ascent, and then Feint had Golden Cap against Swift with it.
Yes,
so, you know, I mean, you don't want to do the circular logic thing where they had a close game with Ascent and Ascent took the map of, you know, so you can't really draw the same conclusions, but it has been a map that I feel like most of the teams have been not as comfortable on, and I feel like it's a bit more of a wild card, even though it's, you know, Badlands has been around for ages, Pro Lands just not being in the season, I feel like is, you know, hindering some of these teams a little bit.